Hello, friends. Hi, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Thank you guys so much for being with us today. My name is Nora Lise, and I am so excited to be here today to share a delicious recipe with you all. Now, before we get started, I'm all about having friends and family in the kitchen. So I brought my friend Taylor.
Hi.
Taylor, thanks for being with me.
I'm very excited to
I
be here. Thank you.
I think you're in for a treat. I think we're going to have something super, super delicious. Now, friends, we have friends today on Facebook. We have friends on YouTube. Thank you for being here. We also have friends on Instagram right over here. Hey, friends on Instagram. Excited that you are here as well. Now, happy Hispanic Heritage Month. I mean, I'm all about the food. I'm all about the culture. I'm all about everything that this brings. So today we are actually going to take a trip to Peru with our dish today. So we're going to get fancy and impress all of our friends and family. So I really hope that you can learn this one so that you can cook it up in your kitchen with your friends and family.
I'm very excited. There's a lot to learn, a lot to celebrate this month. Maybe you can teach me some words in Spanish while we're cooking.
Oh,
and our friends online.
Absolutely. We are. I mean, check out the ingredients that we have here on our table. I mean, we have tomates. I like that word because it's kind of like tomatoes, tomates.
That one's okay, an easy start. I like that.
Yeah.
Tomates.
Yeah, exactly. We have cilantro.
Cilantro.
Right. We have onions, which is cebolla.
Cebolla.
Hey, Taylor. Hey. We have some garlic, ajo.
Ajo.
Very easy, right? And then we also have some salt, sal. We also have some meat in the fridge, so we have some carne that we're going to be working with today. Now, friends, we couldn't do this without being inspired by all of the books that the library has. We have tons and tons and tons of cookbooks for adults and even children that will inspire you to actually cook something different. So I want to encourage you to check out a cookbook at the library that will take you to a different country. Who knows? That you can kind of explore a different culture. And since we're celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, why not try something with a little bit of Latin flavor?
Oh, yes.
And I love this dish because though it's from Peru, it's actually like a fusion with Peru, and it's kind of like a Chinese kind of like flair, and it's really good. It is delicious.
I'm so excited. What inspired you to want to cook this meal in particular?
Well, actually, my sister. As I mentioned, I love cooking in the kitchen with family and friends. And one of my favorite people to cook with is my sister and also my daughter, of course. But my sister makes this dish, and it is so, 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 so good that I told her, you have to share the recipe with me. And then I was like, I need to share it with everybody else. So it's a really delicious dish, and I think you're going to love it. So the first thing we're going to do is we want to go over the ingredients today. It doesn't take much to make this dish, and it's actually done fairly quickly.
Okay.
Now, due to time, we want to make sure that we have enough time to actually make the dish and eat the dish. So we did pre-cut all of our produce, okay? So if you are following us at home on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, we want to encourage you to please wash your hands, soap and water. And then our produce today is going to be 2 medium tomatoes. Now, these are some really nice plump tomatoes. We have some tomates here. So we need 2 of these. We didn't cut these because we did want to do some cutting with our friends at home. We do have 1 medium red onion.
Beautiful.
So we have it here. And we also have some minced garlic. So We have some garlic cloves here. And we minced about, I love garlic, and I'm all about cooking with your heart. Sometimes you follow a recipe and it's like, I'm going to add a little bit of my own flavor. So for me, it's extra garlic.
Oh, yeah. When it says like 2-3 garlics, you always want to add maybe double, triple that.
Absolutely. I love garlic. So it did call for about 2 to 3 garlics, and we added 6. So if you're not the biggest fan of garlic, then, bring it down to 2 to 3. But if not, go ahead and just take 6 cloves. And you're going to mince it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be talking about a few different kinds of widths and sizes when you're cutting. It's very important for this dish. So just make sure that you have the right sizes. This dish is all about the chunky pieces of tomato, chunky pieces of onion, cebolla. So we want to be able to feel it and see it. Most of the time when we cook with onion, it's minced very small.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It enhances the dish that's being prepared.
Exactly. Exactly. So, but this one, it's supposed to be beautiful. You want to see the really big pieces of onions in there. Okay. So we're going to get started. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm excited.
Let's do this.
Friends at home, I hope you are ready. In addition to our things that we have here on the table, we also have some soy sauce. This is where the other cuisine fusion comes in. We have some soy sauce here, and then we have a little bit of vinegar we'll be using to kind of tenderize the meat, and then we have some oil so that we can cook everything together. So it's just whatever oil you have at home you can use. This is totally fine. All right, so the first thing we are going to do, because we want to have everything ready, this dish is pretty much done in 15-20 minutes, really. You want to be able to cut everything and prep everything. So we already have las cebollas, están aquí. Tenemos los tomates, los vamos a cortar. So we have the tomatoes, we're going to cut them. And I did wash my hands before starting here, but I'm going to use some gloves just because I'm going to be switching over to different ingredients here. And at home, I would just not use gloves and wash my hands. But we're going to use some gloves today, okay? I'm going to cut this. Let me see if I have a bowl for the tomatoes.
Will this do?
Yeah, look at you. Look at you. Yes, we'll just grab a bowl. Thank you, Gabrielle, saying that she loves the fresh ingredients. Yes, I love this dish because it's all fresh ingredients. There's nothing processed or anything like that. It's really good. So
I noticed it's a lot about presentation, how everything looks put together. It's really beautiful, and that's part of the experience. So it's really cool.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to take our tomato and we're going to cut it in half. Now, remember we talked about having chunky pieces of the produce that we have today. So we don't want to chop up this tomato. We literally just want to cut it a few ways. And I love this because when I do this with my daughter, I'll have her use her little safety knife and she'll cut the tomato. It's just good to keep them busy. We want to kind of do wedges, okay? So your wedges are going to be a good, like a wedge fry, a nice
like you
size.
find in like a garden salad.
Exactly. So if you want to do them a little softer, that's okay, or a little smaller. Just remember that tomatoes get really mushy when they start to hit the heat, and you don't want them to kind of break down. So the larger that they are, the better it is. So friends on Instagram, keep them chunky. Let's do some wedges here, and we will prep our tomatoes.
We haven't even started cooking. It already smells so good. It's
I
all
know.
the garlic and the onion and the cilantro smell.
So good. It is. It's so good. Okay, so I have I could probably cut those a little bit smaller. I probably will. So we just have 2 medium tomatoes that have been washed. I'm going to throw out this middle piece here so we don't have a hard piece. Okay. And you're gonna be helping me really soon put all of this stuff into the pot because it's going to cook really fast. So I have my other tomato here. Nice big wedges.
Now, I am no master chef by any means, but I will say, I think one of the most calming parts of the cooking process is when you get to cut up everything and you're prepping all the supplies.
Yes.
I love this.
I'll be honest with you. I wish I was more like I would do more prepping at home when I'm cooking, but I don't. And I just like kind of go with it, and it's like, oh no, it's overcooking. But it's so important that you prep, especially if you have a meal like the one that you're going to do today, because everything cooks so fast, and so you don't want to overcook anything. Yeah. Otherwise, your tomatoes are too soft, and your meat is too tender or whatnot. You just want it to be perfect.
I think that's one of the biggest challenges of cooking is it's a balancing act with time and heat. It's so important to do things in like a specific process. So having everything laid out is very, very helpful.
Science.
Took me years to learn that.
Yeah. Yes. I totally can see that, and it's so true. Yes. Okay, so we have tomatoes. They're pretty. They're ready to go. Okay. Now, friends at home, if you are following us today, you can go ahead and chop up your onion. Now, when you chop up your onion, it is the same way that we just cut the tomato, okay? You want them to be nice and chunky. You don't want them to disappear in your meal, okay?
Does it matter? Because there's so many different types of onions. Does it have to be a red onion? Does it change the flavor if you use a white or a yellow onion?
I personally think it does. So this is just the way that I've taught, my sister taught me how to make it, but people make it different. They actually put like peppers in it and other things like that. By all means you can, but I personally like the red onion. It's just not as strong. It's a mild onion.
That's true.
Sometimes people even use a green onion, which is even a nice softer onion.
Right.
But always, I like a red onion, nice and big, just like this. I take my time. It always makes me cry. I don't really know why, but
they're very pretty too.
They're so pretty and delicious. So I love it. You should probably say, me encanta cebollas.
Me encanta cebollas.
Do you really love onions?
I'm getting there.
Yeah, I'm like, you just said you love onions.
Me gusta cebollas.
There we go. Okay, we're going to get started here. Okay. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of oil. If you could pass me the oil. We will say all of the measurements for everyone at home, but we will be doing it over here just like we do it at home. So it's about 2 tablespoons of oil, and it's just so you can stir fry the meat, okay? You kind of want to get a nice char on the meat if you can. Another way that this is a, kind of has that fusion of the other culture is some people do it in a wok. And I thought, I don't have a wok at home. That has to be on, a list of things maybe that I should buy. But you can definitely do it in just a pan. So you could just take any kind of pan size, depending on the size of or the amount of meat that you're going to be using. Today we're going to be using 1 pound of beef. And then also we get the question, well, what kind of meat? You can use any quick cooking kind of beef. So the thinner it is, the better it is, the faster it will cook. So just keep that in mind when you purchase the meat here. I wonder if you can make Lomo Saltado with like another meat like chicken.
I was thinking of that, maybe pork.
Yeah. Like I've never done it, but I think it's just all about the fresh ingredients and everything. Yeah. So I'm turning on the stove here to like medium high so that the oil can warm up. And while we do that, we're going to, if you don't mind, grabbing the meat out of the cooler. It's currently being iced. Now, the meat you want to slice into very thin slices. So this has already been sliced, and it's in our little bowl there. It's been in the refrigerator. So if you have the meat, this is just beef that we already bought at the supermarket, and it's very thin, and we just so when we actually put it in here, I'll show it to you with an actual spoon. So we're waiting for this to kind of, now notice, no le vamos a poner sal. We're not going to put salt on it. All of the salt on the meat.
Okay.
Because all of the salt is going to come from the other ingredients that you're going to add to it. So the goal right now is just to cook the meat. and it should cook fairly quickly.
Okay.
So we should be good. Okay. So it's just gonna be quick. I'm gonna change spots with you, and let's see how this goes.
Are we
Okay?
doing it?
Yes, we're
Okay.
doing it.
Do we have a fork? Or...
Go ahead. You can just right in there.
Swoop it in there.
There you go. I'll take your bowl, and then I'm gonna give you the
Spatula.
spatula. You're gonna mix that up. And you're just going to make sure that you are kind of taking all of the pieces apart so that eventually it all touches the bottom of the pan.
So they can cook evenly?
That's right.
Gotcha.
That's another thing. When you're cutting your meat or any kind of produce at home, if you're going to cook it, you want to make sure that it's pretty much the same size so that they all cook at the same time. Otherwise, you have to wait longer.
Right.
So you just want to make sure if this is intended to all cook in 2 minutes, well, then you have to, cut it the same size in order for that to happen.
It reminds me of like the way meat is prepared for fajitas.
Yeah.
Like that same kind of thin strip.
It's the same way, yeah. I do want to talk about the main flavors that we're going to be using today. Yes, we're using the onions and the tomatoes, but here we have comino. So this is cumin. This is ground cumin that we just bought at the supermarket. This is a very, very strong has a very strong scent to it. So our friends here on Instagram and our friends here at home as well. Comino is delicious. I think that it's an amazing scent. It's very strong. This dish calls for comino, and it calls for a good amount of comino too. But because it's such a strong scent and flavor, when we add the comino today, we want to make sure that you're adding what makes you comfortable, okay? So for this, I like to say 1 to 3 teaspoons of comino. So if you want to start with 1, and then, oh, here it comes. You could hear it. It's sizzling. If you want to start with 1 and then kind of move up, like, oh, I could use some more until you don't want to use any more. That's totally fine. And then with comino, we're going to be using that. And then we're also going to be using cilantro. Now, cilantro here, this is also a tip on how to store your cilantro in the nevera, in the refrigerator. How do you store it? Do you store your cilantro? Do you even buy cilantro at home? I don't really buy it, no. Okay. It's really cool. So a way that you can store it is always wash it. This is also something you need to wash. And you dry it up, and then you can put the bottom part of the cilantro in a little bit of water, and you can just put it in your fridge. The other way that you can do it, though, is keep it all nice and dry. Moisture will, have the cilantro go bad a little bit quicker. Not bad, but like the leaves will start turning brown and a little bit of black. So just make sure that when you wash your cilantro and you're done, that you really, really dry it up. And you can even store it in a napkin or paper towel in your refrigerator, and it'll last a longer time.
That's right. I've made that mistake before because I bought herbs, but then I wash them and I don't dry them completely, and then they start to wilt and they go bad really quickly. So you have to just really pay attention.
Absolutely. Just and make sure that it's nice and dry too.
Okay.
The same thing goes with like fruit. Like if we're gonna put fruit in the nevera, you just want to make sure that it's nice and clean and it's dry so that it doesn't get soggy. Yeah. Like you say, and it doesn't go bad. So yeah,
I'm taking mental notes. So another question I had for cooking. Yes. When you cook meat, I've heard that it's best to leave it and just let it cook entirely. Like don't move it around too much and then flip it over once it starts to brown on one side. What is that, do you think a good tip? Or
I mean, yeah, I like to feel like I'm constantly doing something in the kitchen.
That's why I want to move it around.
So I'm constantly like do. If I knew how to flip a pancake, I'd probably flip a pancake too. But I don't know how to do that. So I like to move it around, make sure that it's constantly getting our meat is already browning. That's really, really good.
That was really quickly.
Yeah, it does. Lomo Saltado is served with white rice and also some fries. So I think that's my favorite part too. It's not traditional to eat con papitas y un poquito de arroz. Like you have the rice and it's delicious, and then you have like these I buy steak fries, but you can really do any kind of fries. You can do the crinkle fries or like the regular like thin fries, the shrimp fries, but I like the steak fries. They're really thick and delicious. So that is what we're going to be doing today. So friends at home on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you can ask all the questions, make comments in the comments field as well, and we will get to them during the time. We also have Caitlin behind the scenes looking at everything that you guys are writing and making sure that we cover that as well. So the meat is looking really good. This is why the meat cooks so fast. And it is also letting go of some juices. We don't want to get rid of the juices. This will go really, really nicely with all of the other ingredients that we're going to add to it. Okay. So that looks like it's almost ready to add everything else. So I'm going to get everything else ready, and then it's just going to be popped into.
We just put it all in there?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're going to add a little bit of soy sauce.
See, I thought that was so interesting, the combination of soy sauce and cumin.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That fusion dish, they're combinations that you don't think of, but they're so delicious.
Yeah, wait until you try it. Like, it's it's really good. And this is also why you don't season the meat, because soy sauce, it's the salt of your dish. Yeah. Pretty much. So if you needed a little bit more sauce, I definitely kind of put the salt aside and then really use the soy sauce, because you already have it in there, so why not add the same kind of sauce. All right, that's looking really good. Have a few other pieces. Now, when you're cooking this at home, if you want to kind of dry it up a little bit, obviously you can turn up the heat of the stove, and then you can also leave it there a little longer too. All right. So we do have some questions. What are your favorite Hispanic cuisines? Do you have any?
Well, my grandmother was from Colombia, and so growing up, we would eat a lot of Colombian food. We would go to one restaurant in particular, and their empanadas were amazing. So that is my go-to. But also, I grew up in Miami, so Cuban food was really popular, and there's a little Cuban cafe next to my house. Delicious. Can't go wrong.
Yes, you took mine. Cuban food, that's okay. We have so much in common. Cuban food is so good.
So good.
I mean, my family is from Puerto Rico, and so a lot of the food that I know how to cook is inspired by those dishes that you eat in Puerto Rico. And also, like, my grandmother cooked this a lot. My father is a huge, he loves cooking. And he is just really, really good. But I love, if I need to kind of branch out, I would go to Cuban. Colombian too, actually. Right by work, there's a really cute Colombian restaurant, and they sell really good lentil empanadas. And they are
really good.
Delicious. They're really good. So thank you for asking. That's such a good question. Okay.
I think it's
perfect timing. Okay, what you want to do is you kind of want to make a well in the middle. So kind of put all of the meat towards the side.
Okay.
And we are going to start with adding 1 tablespoon of, actually, you know what? Let's do our onions first before we add this, because our onions is what takes the longest to kind of soften. So we're going to throw those in first. So here are your onions. You're going to throw that all in. There you go. We can put it right here. There you go.
Cebollas.
That's right, cebollas. Very good. We'll put this right over there. We're going to mix those in. Delicious. Awesome. Now, as you continue to cook, they'll kind of, soften a little bit, will down a little bit, so we'll put it all together. Then we're going to add, we don't want to add, sometimes people add the tomatoes too soon, and remember, tomatoes are going to get soft, and you don't want that to happen.
Cook really quickly.
Let's add some flavor. So we're going to do I'm going to do this over the pot here. You can mix it up. 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Okay. Now, a little later, sometimes our friends will add maybe half another tablespoon. But again, it is the salt of the dish, so you don't want to overdo that. Just take it slow.
Start out little, add more as you go.
That's right. Looking good. All right. let's basically from here, it's just adding things one after another and then just letting it sit together. So while we clean up and grab our plates and stuff, things will kind of cook together.
Okay.
It already smells so good.
It smells amazing.
It smells really, really good. So like we said when we first started, I try to cook with the heart, which means a recipe will tell me 1 tablespoon and I'll just follow what my heart says and I'll add a few more until I like the flavor. So that is the case with garlic. A mí me fascina el ajo. I love the smell of it, and like in I was gonna say 2 seconds, but really like in 30 seconds, you already have the smell, the scent of garlic, and it's amazing. So instead of 2 to 3 cloves minced, this is actually about 6 of them. Now I'm not gonna add all of it. I'm gonna go a little fork here. That, I might have gone a little too with my heart.
Can you? With garlic? Add too much?
I know. I'm going to do half. Well, a little bit. Okay. So I have the garlic there.
Can you use, I get the minced garlic in the bottles that they sell at the store. Could you use that as well, or is it better to use fresh?
Nope, you can absolutely use the minced garlic already. They have minced garlic. They have the cloves already peeled for you. They sell that as well. Matter of fact, I buy that at home just to save me some time. So yeah, you can use whatever you have there. Let's lower this a little bit.
So the onions are starting to soften a little bit.
Looking good. We are going to add a little bit of vinegar. So the vinegar is going to help to soften the meat. So you can add that too. Oops, there we go. And just put that in there. That's 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Again, we are working with 1 pound of meat today. So if you have more meat, you do want to triple this recipe and add more flavor to that too. All right. I think they're doing a great job. All right, while you do that, I'm going to put on come over this side. I'm going to chop up some cilantro. So cilantro is basically like a garnish, but it also adds a really, really nice flavor to it. So let me put on my gloves here. And we are going to start adding a little bit of cumino as well. We're going to sprinkle just to kind of get that in. Make sure you really mix this in, just because sometimes it can stay grainy or have that powdery texture.
Right.
Ooh, you can smell it. Here's my cilantro, my knife, and we're just going to do a rough chop to start things off. A really cool trick that my dad taught me is he kind of like folds it up like this and then keeps it together with your fingers. Be very careful and just start chopping. Yes. And then you bring it together. It's like a fluffy pillow.
I've always wondered how you get it like so small and
so
minced.
Tiny.
I didn't know you fold it over.
Yeah, I fold it over. It's nice.
Now, that was so quick.
Yeah, I know. For this one, you don't want it too small. You kind of want some bigger pieces to it. And then also, I know we also use it for a garnish, but I do like to add cilantro to cook inside with the meat too. So I'm just going to add some so that it cooks in there.
Oh, it smells so fresh.
Yeah. There we go. And we are almost done with this dish. One of my other favorite parts of this dish is the presentation. It is absolutely gorgeous. So it's really, really good. All right. We ready?
Ready.
Oh, I should probably take these off so I don't have cilantro all over them. We are going to add the tomatoes to it. All right. Now it's getting a little harder.
Just a little bit.
So
we want to have a runaway tomato.
I think
situation.
what we can do is we could do here. Look, you grab it from the bottom and just flip it so the meat comes towards the top and the tomatoes go towards the bottom, like that.
That looks so pretty.
Oh, let me show this to our friends here. I'm gonna pick this up real quick. Look how gorgeous. Here we have all of the ingredients together in a pot. Our friends on Instagram as well. It smells really good. Everything is nice and warm. Let me put this on this side. So we'll keep that there. Now, while you have that, I'm gonna keep this on the side. Actually, let me put this on a little plate so we can move it out.
Mm-hmm.
Or why use the plate? I can just have it like right here. And it's time to serve. Okay. Now,
So you just want to like lightly heat the tomatoes.
That's right. You
Okay.
don't want to do too much.
Okay.
It's gonna still cook with the heat there
Right.
too. So not too much, just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
You did this all by yourself. You did a great job.
Thank you.
It was awesome. It smells good. I'm really excited to try your dish.
Thanks. And a little bit of help. But
Let me just go ahead and add this here. Cilantro.
wow.
We might add cumino as well. I'm gonna put this on the other side.
Do we stir this in, or is this just for presentation?
Just for presentation. You can leave that there. I'm gonna grab a plate and we're gonna try this. Okay. Now, is there like a little bowl over there that we can
Yes.
do the rice? Here we have some rice. So we pre-made the rice too. What's really great about the rice is if you don't have time to make, a whole pot of rice, sometimes that takes a little bit. You can also buy like the pre-made bags at the supermarket, pop them in the microwave, and then you have the rice. Okay, so you could do that too. I personally like presentation is everything to me. So I'm gonna try really hard. This one might be a little too big. We can also use measuring spoon. Let's do that because that one is kind of big, right there on the table.
This one?
Let's see which one. Yeah, this one's good. Use a measuring spoon. A little trick to make your dishes look fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Use a measuring spoon. Pack in. It's also if you want to know exactly how much you're eating, you can measure your rice and any kind of other ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
So pack it in. We'll see if this works. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So aquí tenemos el arroz.
I have a good feeling.
You have a good feeling? Okay,
Mhm.
let's see. Voila! Beautiful. Oh, let me do another
if
one.
you host a dinner party and your rice is in this little formation,
Yeah.
instantly
And then,
impressed.
you have like a little rice egg. It's perfect. It's great. It's awesome. Okay, let's do one more. Have a little bit here. All right. Okay, let's see. Think I can do this one?
Mm-hmm.
Whoop. Another little rice
Beautiful.
egg. Okay, so we have our rice here. Let's put this down. Let's cover this up. All right. And then when you're doing your lomo saltado, you want to make sure that you have everything. So I'm going to take over on this side for you. And I'm going to add a tomato there in the corner. I'm going to add some meat. If I can pick it up. There we go. Some meat. And then I'm going to add one little onion. Since you're a new lover to onions, I always tell my daughter it's important that you try everything on your plate. If you don't like it, that's okay because you tried it. So we have that there. And then I'm going to come on this side again. And we're going to add some steak fries. So one thing that I like to recommend is when you are cooking everything else, put your steak fries or your fries inside the oven and just bake them. And by the time your meal is done, because it's about 20 minutes, your fries are done. So everything is done at the same time. And there you have it. We have Lomo Saltado,
Beautiful.
made by Taylor. Thank you, Taylor. You were amazing. I totally put you on the cooking duty without telling you anything.
I just stirred things.
Yeah. Friends at home, this is delicious. I really do hope that you make this. Let's try it.
Okay.
I have a rule.
Okay.
We can't share recipes with friends and family if you don't try it in front of them. Because then you're like, it's delicious, but we don't really know if it's delicious.
This is the best part, yeah.
So you have to try it.
Now, when you eat this,
Mhm.
do you eat it piece by piece? Do you try to get a little bit of everything in one bite?
I try to get a little bit of everything in one bite.
Okay.
But it's up to you. If you're one that likes to kind of separate everything, I'm gonna eat with you. Then you could definitely do that. Okay, so let me try. We didn't add extra cumino, so we didn't add extra cumin to this, but at home, once you try it, if you want to add a little more cumino, you can do that as well. It's entirely up to you. So I'm gonna take my gloves off because it's weird to eat with gloves on. All right, we're ready. Dinner is served. Have a little bit of, I might just eat this whole thing. All right.
So you're trying to figure out what to grab.
I think I'm gonna do this first because it's kind of hard to like. It is kind of like the dish, the main thing. Okay. No one said this was gonna be pretty, guys. No. All right. Here we go.
Biting into the tomato.
Here we go. Mmm. It's so good.
It's very good.
The meat. Now, I will say I'd probably add a little bit more cumino.
Mm-hmm.
And I also probably add a little bit more soy sauce. We only added one tablespoon. So I probably, after trying it, I would do something like that. We also have to make sure that while we're talking to our friends at home, we don't have cilantro on our teeth.
I know. I'm really worried about that.
We might have cilantro. You could also do this without the rice too.
Mm-hmm.
You could just have the potato. Oh, it's so good.
It's really interesting with those flavors.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't think of it, but they're so good together.
And the fresh ingredients
Mhm.
is amazing. And that's it. You did great.
Thank you.
I'm so awesome. Thank you for coming to the kitchen and celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. This is just the beginning of all the delicious meals that we're going to enjoy this month and try out too. So friends at home, thank you so much for being with us today and watching. And friends on Instagram as well, thank you for being with us. We're going to stay back over here in the kitchen eating some Lomo Saltado. We hope that you enjoy your meal. If you're not enjoying it now, we hope you enjoy it sometime in the future. Don't forget to come in, get a library card, check out some books. We have so many recipes that you all can do. We'll see you guys next time. Bye. This is so good. Oh my goodness. Amazing.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to be the first to find out when we have new fun and informative videos for you. Orange County Library System is your place to learn, grow, connect.